Hey everyone, welcome to The New Populist. I'm Dave Brown. If you are new to this channel, please like and subscribe. Now, it seems we have an issue with Donald Trump and his position on the vaccine. And he had a conversation with Candace Owens, and this was a bit contentious and has become an issue, unfortunately. Now, it seems that there has been on the right, among conservatives, among Trump supporters, a position, and it's kind of hard to tell how big this position is, but this position that if you support the vaccine, that you are somehow selling out to the establishment, selling out to the globalist, whatever you want to call it. And unfortunately, I think that position is really short-sighted as far as what we can do on a national ticket with that sort of attitude. Now, can a Republican win the presidency on the anti-vax position? And the answer is no. And that's not necessarily a good thing. We don't want a president to win on the anti-vax position. We want them to win on a anti-authoritarian position. Now, the vaccine itself, is it quite as good as it was originally advertised? I think the answer to that question is no, especially with the Omicron variant. But the data seems to show it helps, especially if you're elderly, especially if you have comorbidity. So I have no problem with saying take the vaccine as long as you qualify it with saying I don't support a mandate. I don't support people losing their jobs if they choose otherwise. And that's really what we should be doing here. We should be the anti-authoritarian party, not the anti-vax party. And it's kind of funny that this is now an issue because Trump has been pretty consistent about this for the last year and a half. He has been talking about Operation Warp Speed, pumping it up, taking credit for it. He is taking his shots, he's taking his boosters. He has always said that he is pro-vaccine. And so why now is this a problem? And what I think is happening here is that, first of all, politics is a dirty game. Now, people who supported Trump in 2016 and 2020, some of them still support Trump to run again in 2024, but I think there is an element, a contingent that doesn't want him to run again in 2024, and they would rather have somebody like a Ron DeSantis. Now, if you feel that way, nothing wrong with that. Each candidate has his pros and cons. Trump has a vigorously strong base, and in some people's viewpoint, Ron DeSantis is a little more refined and is less inflammatory. And they think that if someone like him runs in 2024, he could win, whereas Trump will turn off too many people, and there will be this swell of people voting against him, like in 2020. And so they would rather have somebody else run. And that's fine. If you want to support Ron DeSantis, no problem. Go ahead and do that. But let's not manufacture a fake issue because, first of all, it allows the left to exploit it. If you go on YouTube right now and look up Trump and Candace Owens, every video is a person on the left celebrating this fact that there is this rift between Trump and some of his supporters. We don't want that. Also, the other thing is that Ron DeSantis is a pro-vaxxer as well. Him and Trump have a very similar position. Listen to what he says here.
So my message is the vaccines protect you, get vaccinated, and then live your life as if you're protected.
So there you have it. Ron DeSantis is not an anti-vaxxer. Ron DeSantis is pro-vax. Now, one thing I will say is that DeSantis is a little better at addressing the concerns people do have about the vaccine. Listen to what he says here.
You're in a situation now where a lot of the folks who are not taking it, it's accessible to everyone, they have different reasons for why they don't take it. And I think that the more they're hectored by government officials or some of these folks, that is not going to get them to yes. I can tell you that right now. I think these are folks that have skepticism of authorities. I think they have different reasons why they may not do it. I don't think most of them think COVID is a hoax or anything. I think that they understand. Some of them are very young and healthy, and they're making the calculation that they'll likely be able to handle it, and I understand that too. But as you're trying to reach some of these folks, I think it's important to just be honest with them about the risks of COVID. If they are in a less risky category, you should just be honest with that and not try to scare people into taking it, which a lot of these authorities have done. They see that, and I think that they're very keen on that. So what my view has always been is these vaccines, and you can look at the EUAs, there are occasionally some side effects. But if you're 70 years old, man, the benefit is so much better than worrying about some of that. It's not even close. You know, as you get talking about young kids, parents going to look at that and maybe make a little bit different calculation, and that is fine, but just understand where we're at, understand the benefits, particularly folks who may have health conditions or who are a little older. And I can tell you the data has been very strong. If the data wasn't strong, then we would have to acknowledge that to people, and I would be the first to want to do it. But the data has been really strong. When you have these upticks, it's affecting, for things beyond cases, it's affecting in a clinical way people almost entirely who are unvaccinated. I also am not, I've never been driven by the case counts, because you have people who may test positive now, we know, who are vaccinated. And so they'll be positive, but they're almost entirely not going to get a serious illness. And so to me, it's about preventing the illness, not a positive test.
So everything you said there, I agree with 100%. For children, for younger people, there's more questions. There are adverse events that do happen. And if you're elderly and you have comorbidities, it does seem the vaccine helps out with reducing the possibility of severe disease and death. So we should have nuanced positions. That's being a critical thinker. And that is one strength that Ron DeSantis does have, is that he does address these things in a way that allows less attacks from both sides, because he is very precise and he is more seasoned as a politician in that sense than Trump is. And again, both men have their qualities, they have their pros and cons, and I'm not here to attack either guy. Whoever becomes the nominee for Republican in 2024, they have my support. But what I don't want is for us on the right, Trump supporters, conservatives, to fall for these fake manufactured issues that do nothing but cause chaos amongst ourselves, amongst our ranks, and allow the left and the media to exploit them for their own benefit. So don't fall for that trick. Ron DeSantis, Donald Trump, they're both pro-vaxxers. Their positions have been pretty consistent the last year and a half. And anybody who makes a big deal of this is trying to create a problem that doesn't exist. So don't fall for it. That's it for now. Again, if you're new to this channel, please like and subscribe, and have a great Christmas.